Hello everybody! Welcome back to some more Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. In the last episode, we played Time Trials and we beat all the Nintendo staff ghosts for the Retro Cups, which includes the Shell Cup, the Banana Cup, the Leaf Cup, and the Lightning Cup. So today, we are doing the remaining 4 cups, which were the DLC courses for the original Mario Kart 8. Not Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Booster Course Pass DLC, but the original Mario Kart 8 had a DLC back on the Wii U, which I know was a really long time ago. But when Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came out, it was included with the base game. So these 4 cups are considered DLC, technically. So we're going to go ahead and start with the Egg Cup, but before we do that, we have to switch characters. And I am not going to play a heavy character, because we played a heavy character in the last episode. I thought it wouldn't be too bad, and then the episode ended up being an hour and 10 minutes just to do 16 races, which is a really long time. So I'm going to just go and switch to a regular character. I'm going to play Yoshi, because Yoshi is a very easygoing character. And let's go with Black Yoshi. So obviously, I want to pick a black car to go with Black Yoshi, seeing as we picked the Teddy Buggy, which was a blue car, when we played as Light Blue Yoshi. But I don't really know what black cars there are besides like the cars that change color to match your color, like the pipe frame and the standard cart. So I'm going to have to take a little look to see what black cars there are. I mean, this is kind of black, but I don't want to use a motorcycle per se. So I think I'll just use the standard cart with the off-road tires, any black glider, and then just the super glider. I know it's a pretty standard, typical combo, and it ends up being in the medium-ish section, which you know it works well for me. But it's the only kind of black combo we can go for, so I'm just going to go for this. And we're going to be starting with the Egg Cup, playing GCN Yoshi Circuit. Very fitting that we're playing Yoshi in today's episode, and we're racing against Nintendo Adrian, who is a red Yoshi. So here we go. Who will win, Black Yoshi or Red Yoshi? It's time to find out. And for those of you who do not know, GCN Yoshi Circuit, if you look at the map, the course is actually in the shape of a Yoshi. I know, very cool. So we can take this little waterfall shortcut, which is, in my opinion, the best shortcut on this track. All the other ones kind of pale in comparison. And this course is a GCN course that I actually really like. Even though it's a basic, simple circuit course, it's still a really fun course. Which is funny, because in the previous episode, I was talking about how I really don't like the GCN courses in the regular game. I don't like Sherbet Land, I don't like Dry Desert, and those were the only GCN courses we had. And they were some of my least favorites. But the Mario Kart 8 DLC for the original one back on the Wii U added, I believe it was only 2 GCN courses, Yoshi Circuit being one of them, and the other one was Baby Park. And I really liked both of those GCN courses. So it's funny that for Mario Kart 8, the only GCN courses they had in the original were the ones I really didn't like. But I'm glad that the DLC ended up going back and fixing the problem and added some actually good GCN courses. But we have a huge lead here. We're doing much better now that we're off that awful Roy combo. I don't think it was really the Roy's combo's fault. Some races I did really amazing, and just some of them I did horrible, like DK Jungle and Wario Stadium. I had to redo them like 4 or 5 times. But I think maybe it was just me not playing the best on that day. But now I appear to be back and ready to my usual self. We had a little bit of a slip up there, but I think it's fine, as we still have a huge lead compared to this Nintendo Ghost. And there we go! We won. The first race went very easily. We won by a huge margin. Look at that, we were like 9 seconds ahead of him. That was amazing. There we go. Once again, I'm not uploading my ghost data. That's not going to happen. There's not really a point to do that. So we're just going to move on and do the next race. And the next course is Excitebike Arena. And we're racing against a Mario, Nintendo Pedro. So Excite Bike Arena is a very simple course. It's kind of like Baby Park, as it's just an oval. But Excite Bike Arena is a much more stretched out oval. And basically, it's just a bunch of jumps. It's supposed to mimic the old original NES game Excite Bike, where you'd go over jumps and try to get tricks and race as fast as possible on your bikes. It's not the most interesting course per se, it is relatively simple. But just because it's a simple course doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad course. I still think it's a very fun course. And it doesn't have very many interesting shortcuts. The shortcuts on this course are just like little cuts of grass. Like right over here, there's a little cut. You can go like that. Pretty simple. Nothing too mind-blowing. But it's a pretty fun course. So we appear to be pretty far ahead. Well, maybe not pretty far, but decently far. And other than doing the tricks, there isn't really much to do on this course other than driving straight. Which is why some people consider it to be a not very fun course. But I don't personally mind it. Sometimes we need some simplicity to relax a bit. You can't have every course be super mind-numbingly difficult. Thanks. Avoid the mud pile. I don't know where Mario went. We just zoomed past him, I guess. But there we go. We won. That's the second course that we have completed. The next course that we're going to be doing is Dragon Driftway. And we're racing against Nintendo Mitsu. I think I pronounced that right. Mitsu? Yeah, Nintendo Mitsu, the Lakitu. There is a shortcut over here that we can take, which also kind of leads into this shortcut. And I could have used a second mushroom for that, and then it would have been like a super omega giant time save. But I don't want to do that because we still have to do 3 laps of this course, so 2 more laps after this, and then I wouldn't be able to show off the other shortcut on another lap, which there's a shortcut right here we could take at the very end of the course. And I want to be able to take a shortcut each lap, as personally I think that's more interesting than taking one giant shortcut on one lap. We've got a pretty big lead, which is nice to see. Just in case something bad was to happen. So I'm going to be ignoring that shortcut this time. And then we're going to go around to take the other shortcut. There we go. Not the biggest mind-blowing shortcut, but it's still a pretty good shortcut. Let's take this shortcut again. My plan was to kind of go around the grass, but unfortunately that didn't really work. Alright, I think we have this in the bag. There we go. We won again. So the final course in the Egg Cup is Mute City. And we're going to be playing against Nintendo Laura, the Mario. Again. There's a lot of Mario for some reason. This is the second Mario we've come across. We already went against a Mario on Excite Bike Arena, and I'm pretty sure we also went against a Mario on Mario Kart Stadium, like a few episodes ago. So this is a lot of Marios. But anyways, let's focus less on the Mario and focus more on Mute City. And Mute City, as you can see here, is a course based off the game F-Zero. Now, F-Zero is a very different racing game than Mario Kart, because instead of getting items, the whole point of this game is to go as fast as possible. There were no items back then, and all you really had were speed boosters, and little panels on the edge of the ring, or of the racetrack, that would give you power. And here, the equivalent of power is coins, which just gives you coins instead, which in my opinion is a pretty good alternative to power. Unfortunately, I fell off because I was going so fast, which is a very common thing that could happen in F-Zero. And in F-Zero, when you would hit the wall, you would see here, you get a little electrical shock, which is basically supposed to symbolize in F-Zero, when you hit the wall, you would lose your power. And when you have less power, you would slow down. And then eventually you would have to go to those little pit stops and recharge, which would eventually eat up your time. And if you would have no power, you would like explode or something. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while since I've played an F-Zero game. But it's very chaotic. There's also the fact that people can bump into you. I'm pretty sure if people bumped into you in that game, you would also lose power. So it's very different than Mario Kart, but it's still a Nintendo racing game. So they decided to put F-Zero into Mario Kart, which I thought was pretty cool. There's also another F-Zero track that will come up later. We can take this shortcut over here, which is pretty cool. It's helping us catch back up. And as you can see, it's a pretty fast course. We're already on the final lap. And there are lots of speed boosts everywhere. So having maximum amount of coins are definitely in your best interest. We've nearly caught up to Nintendo Laura. We've passed Nintendo Laura now. I'm gonna save this mushroom for the other shortcut, just so that we don't fall off again. That would be a disaster. And there we go. That's another first place. So now that we've finished the Egg Cup, we can move on to the next cup, which is the Triforce Cup. And the Triforce Cup is supposed to be based off The Legend of Zelda, and as we will see in a course that comes up later, it takes heavy inspiration from The Legend of Zelda. But first, we're starting with a classic, Wii Wario's Gold Mine. And we're racing against, well, who could have seen this coming? It's Wario, Nintendo Pit. Now, Wario's Gold Mine is a course that doesn't really have any mushroom shortcuts. It certainly has shortcuts, but you don't need mushrooms for them. So there's not really a place for me to use my mushroom. So I'm just going to use it in a straightaway section like this to get some extra speed. Seem to be a good distance ahead of Wario. Actually, quite far ahead of Wario. We can't even see him. I wonder what he's doing. This is his home track. And we can take a little jump over there to cut off a little bit of the corner. It's a little bit risky, but it is a shortcut that we can take without a mushroom. And it does save a little bit of time, as long as you don't fall off by this. There's also another one of those over here. So over here, there is a shortcut that we could take. It's not the fastest shortcut, but it's just over here to the left. We can hop into here, and then there's some speed boosts we can take. It's a pretty cool shortcut. We're now 6 seconds ahead of Wario. That's insane. Ah! Ooh, almost ran into the bats. That would have been scary. Alright, let's take the shortcut again. 'Cause why not? It's faster. Alright, we're approaching the end with Wario nowhere in sight. There we go. We won with a huge lead. He wasn't even close to us. Look at that. We beat him by like, how many seconds was that? 9 seconds. That's insane. There we go. We're not going to upload our ghost data. And we're going to move on to the next course. So the next course in the Triforce Cup is SNES Rainbow Road. And you might be thinking, why is Rainbow Road here? Why is it in the middle of the cup? Because everywhere else, N64 Rainbow Road, in the Lightning Cup, it's at the end of the cup. Regular Rainbow Road from Mario Kart 8, it's at the end of the Special Cup. So why is SNES Rainbow Road in the middle of the Triforce Cup? I don't know. And I think it's a really dumb decision, because Rainbow Road should always be at the end of its cup. In every single Mario Kart game, Rainbow Road is always in the end of the Special Cup, or whatever other cup it is if it's a Retro Cup. But for this cup, I guess it's not a Retro Cup, so it doesn't have to go by those rules. I still think it's weird. This is the only Rainbow Road in the entire series to not be at the end of its cup, and I really don't like that. It just bugs me. But anyways, we're doing SNES Rainbow Road against Nintendo and the Cat Peach. So SNES Rainbow Road has a very few number of shortcuts, which obviously makes sense because if you look, there's no off-road to cut. We're just floating in the air. So it makes sense that the number of shortcuts we can take is very limited. The first one's right over here. We could take a mushroom off the ramp. Unfortunately, I completely screwed that up. So now we're very far behind. And it's going to be very difficult to catch up. That's for sure. We could also use our mushroom to go off that ramp, which definitely cuts off a significantly less amount of the track, but it's a lot safer. So we're now 4 seconds behind Cat Peach because we fell off, which you know is very sad, and that's probably going to make it so that we can't win, which is too bad. But I want to show off that shortcut, so we're going to try for it again. There we go, we made it this time. But I think that barely makes a dent in how far away Cat Peach is from us. And we can also trick off the road when the Rainbow Thwomps ground pound onto them, like that. Or when they slam onto them. Maybe it's not a ground pound. Yeah, now we're only 3 seconds away. That's still a huge distance that we're probably not going to be able to make up. But we still might as well try. So that just goes to show, if you fall off once in time trials, you're not catching up. Now we can show off this shortcut, which is significantly lamer. You just do a little jump like that. So unfortunately, we're going to have to redo this course. But it's not too bad, because this course is definitely one of the shorter ones, because it is an SNES track. And all SNES tracks used to be 5 laps. But since it was brought to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it had to be shortened down to just 3 laps. Just like SNES Donut Plains 3. So that's why it's a shorter course. Hopefully this time, we'll be able to win. We just gotta not fall off. If we fall off, we lose. So no falling off. So I'm gonna try going for the I guess I'll go for the big shortcut. It's probably a bad idea. But let's do it anyways! And I made it. Would you look at that? Now I'm ahead of Cat Peach. So now probably for the rest of the race, I'm just gonna go for the baby easy shortcuts. Just so that I don't instantly throw away my lead and just lose. But I don't want that to happen. That'd be sad. So we're now 1.4 seconds ahead of her. We're still quite far away. We're doing well. And let's make the jump! Whee! That jump is significantly easier to make. So there we go, we're 2 seconds ahead, it's the final lap. We can just take that little, much easier shortcut again, and then we'll be good. Oh! Oh no, I was not expecting that to happen. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm really throwing the... Oh, I just threw away the win. Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad. That's awful. I got squished by a rainbow thwomp, then I fell off, and then I lost. So we gotta do that one more time, because... that's just sad. Here we go. Third tries the charm. We certainly are doing poorly on this Rainbow Road. Which I guess makes sense. This is probably the hardest Rainbow Road in this game. Or at least in the base game. As the other two Rainbow Roads are significantly easier. And this one is just a slight bit more difficult. Because all the other Rainbow Roads in this game are really easy. This one is still pretty easy. But it's a little bit more difficult. It's easier to fall off like that. So as such, it's got a little bit of difficulty to its name. And also, every single turn on this track is a 90-degree turn, which, you know, in this game is not that common. In the original Super Mario Kart, I think like every course was like that. But in this game, a lot of them have much more gentler turns. So we're 2 seconds behind Nintendo and I don't like that. So I got some work to do if I want to catch up. Specifically taking the big shortcut and hopefully not falling off. Come on! Go! There we go! That didn't really help that much. I think I have to take it again on the next lap. But I'm still making my way over there. I've almost caught up. 0.6 seconds behind. Oh wait, I think I passed her. No, just don't fall off. Just don't fall off. Okay, you know what? I missed it, unfortunately. I had to take a... I gotta restart. Ooh, that's frustrating. Ooh, that's very frustrating. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But we gotta try it again. Oh, first time burning out on the rocket start. Okay, we're starting over again. Ah, I can't be screwing up like this. There we go, that's better. Alright, let's go for the shortcut! I did it! Alright, we can get some trick boosts. There we go. A little bit of extra speed. It's very important to make sure to trick off those. Just like that. So we're 2 seconds ahead of whatever the cat feature's name, Nintendo and. I'm not going to take this shortcut. I'm just going to take the easy one later on. Because I don't want to risk going off the harder version in case I screw it up, because I probably will screw it up. There we go. Nice and simple. I'm pretty sure that it's also the shortcut that the Nintendo staff goes for, because it is significantly easier. Running to the final lap, as long as I don't get squished by a rainbow thwomp, I should be fine. Yikes. I don't like how close that was. So we take the leap, and then we can head to the finish. So there we go. It just took 5 attempts, but but we won on SNES Rainbow Road. So the next course that we're doing is Ice Ice Outpost against Nintendo Paval the Tanuki Mario. So this course is a pretty simple ice course with just two different paths, the yellow path and the green path. And they intertwine between each other, and it's a pretty cool course. It's also got a lot of cool different shortcuts we could take. For example, there's one over here to our right, where we go boop, and then boop, we don't even need a mushroom, and then it combos into another shortcut over here, and I just fell off. It's embarrassing that I fell off because that was the easy shortcut, you see? The other one was the harder one. I fell off on the easy shortcut that barely saves any time, but it's like free every single time. That's why it's embarrassing. And then there's another shortcut over here at the end of the track. And the cool thing about these shortcuts is that you don't even need mushrooms to take them. You can just take them without a mushroom. So you can use these other mushrooms anywhere else you want. Or you can use them to help catch up if you fell off the edge. So let's see, can I take this shortcut again? I managed to do the hard shortcut, but I failed on the easy one. Can I succeed on the combo? So I go like that, and I go like that, and I land over here, and I stay on the track. And, oh, that was very sketchy, and I definitely lost time for doing that. So maybe I just shouldn't go for that shortcut. It barely saved any time. Both times I screwed it up, and I ended up losing time. So I don't think it's worth going for that one. I'm just going to go for the harder ones over here, which save a significantly higher amount of time. Here we go, final lap. It's pretty close. I don't like how close it is. It would definitely be a less close race if I hadn't fallen off on that second shortcut so many times. So let's take this shortcut. Oh dear. Alright, so I'll use a mushroom to catch back up. It looks like Nintendo Paval is taking this shortcut. But you know what, I'll follow him. And it actually worked this time. I've still got a lot of catch-up work to do. Alright, come on, come on! He's not taking the shortcut. If I make it! I didn't make it. So close, yet so far. Alright, let's try the course again. So let's try to go for the shortcuts this time, and let's hope we can actually successfully pull them off. Because if we do pull them off, not only is it A, impressive, but also B, it saves a ton of time. Alright. Here we go! Yay, I did it! And I'm not going to take that shortcut to the left because it barely saves any time, and I screwed it up a lot. Especially since it's supposed to be a much easier shortcut. Collect some more coins, get some more mini turbos, and take this shortcut over here. There we go. And let's use a mushroom, just for some extra speed. There we go, turn over to the right. There we go, let's try and combo it. Yikes, I don't like how I hit the top. Oh, that was scary, but you know what? It worked, so I'm fine with it. Ah, I fell off. Oh well, doesn't really matter all too much. Ah, yikes. I don't like how I almost fell off there. I'm now 5 seconds ahead of the time trial. See how much better I can do when I don't fall off the shortcuts? Let's just use the other mushroom here. There we go. I'm not going to go onto that shortcut. There's no need to take the risk. It barely saves any time. It's definitely not worth it. And you know, I'm so far ahead, there's no way I can lose this unless I go for the shortcut and screw it up. So I'm just gonna drive past it, take the lame way. It's lame, but I get the win. So that's all that matters to me. So now we're moving into the final course of the Triforce Cup, which is Hyrule Circuit. And in case you haven't been able to tell, the Triforce is an item that comes from The Legend of Zelda. And Hyrule Circuit is a track based off of The Legend of Zelda, seeing as Hyrule is from The Legend of Zelda. And, of course, since we're playing a course based off The Legend of Zelda, we're going to race against Link, who is Nintendo Mitsu. And now, since this course is based off The Legend of Zelda, instead of having coins to collect, you collect rupees. Which is obviously fitting, as rupees are the currency in the Legend of Zelda series. There's a little mushroom shortcut we can take over here, which is pretty cool. But there's also another secret shortcut that we can encounter later in the castle. And it's based off of a very common trend in the Legend of Zelda games, which is solving puzzles. It's not the most difficult puzzle, but if we come along here, you can see that there are 3 little spin boosters we can hit. If we manage to hit all 3, a ramp will open in the middle, as you saw Link just jump over that thing. A little ramp will go over there and you can jump over it. It saves quite a bit of time. Unfortunately, I did not hit all 3 spin boosters, so I did not get the shortcut. So hopefully next lap I can hit all 3 of them, and then I'll be able to activate the shortcut. So we're a little bit behind Link here, but I think we'll be able to catch up, hopefully. Can we hit all 3 of them this time? Come on, 1. Dang it, I keep missing that one. I don't know why. This is the second one that's the hardest one. So let's go through these trees here. Yikes, I almost got bit by whatever that thing was. That weird Legend of Zelda piranha plant. That was close. So I'm very close to passing Link. Let's just take this shortcut. Here we go. He passed me because unfortunately he could take a tighter turn than I could. Come on, I'm so close to him. 1. Dang it, I missed it again. No matter what I do, I can't hit the second one. It's the only one I can't get. Unfortunately, he didn't get it either. So now, I just gotta have better driving skills than him. Let's avoid those Zelda piranha plants and the Zelda bats. But it seems like we did well, and we won this race. So now we're going to be moving up to the Crossing Cup, which is also based off of another Nintendo franchise. We'll get into that franchise later. Maybe you'd be able to take a guess on what franchise it's from based off of one of the course's names. I don't know. It's there. You could certainly take the guess if you wanted to. But anyways, we're going to be moving on to a very fun course, GCN Baby Park, which is going to be hilarious because this course is known for being short. We're going against Nintendo Juiced the Baby Mario, and you'll see what I mean once we get into the course. So Baby Park is normally a super chaotic course because it's a small little circle. And there are always items flying everywhere, green shells and bananas, and you're always lapping people. So you could be next to a person who has like a superstar, and when you're in first, and they can just ram into you. It's super chaotic. But this course, as you can see, it's super short. But to compensate, since the laps are only like 11 seconds each, we have to do 7 of them. And we get 3 mushrooms so we can take little baby shortcuts See what I did there? Baby park, baby shortcuts. Anyways, they're very tiny shortcuts, but they add a little bit, I suppose. But it's a very simple course, especially in time trials when there are no items bouncing around. But it's a very fun concept when you're doing like a Grand Prix race. So we're on lap 5. There's only 2 more left. So we're on lap 6. Well, I guess now there's actually only 2 more left. Alright, let's take this shortcut. I took the same shortcut every single time. I guess I could have taken this patch of grass instead, but they're effectively the same patch of grass. Alright, and here we go. We're approaching the end. The frantic music barely got to even start before we finished the race. But there we go. We won. And you'll get to see something very cool with the times. Look at the times. Look at how many laps it is. It just looks really funny compared to the usual 3 laps you're used to see. It just looks so squished. But anyways, there we go. We won. And now we're going to be moving on to the next course. So the next course that we're doing is GBA Cheeseland. And this course is known for having many different shortcuts. So this is a very good course to practice in time trials because you get 3 mushrooms and you'd be able to try all the different shortcuts. There are probably like 4 shortcuts on this track. There's a lot of them. So each lap I'm going to be trying to show off a different shortcut. And look at that, we're racing against another Yoshi. Yoshi versus Yoshi. Who's the better Yoshi? Sorry, I burped a bit there. But let's take this shortcut right here, through the cheese. They seem to be doing well. We've got a huge lead, actually, but he's going to take a big shortcut, probably. He's going to take one of these shortcuts, and then he's going to catch up. Yeah, look at how close he got from taking that shortcut. There we go. We're still ahead of him by 0.6 seconds. But this lap, we're going to take a different shortcut. Okay, he took that shortcut this time, so we're going to do a little trade. He took the shortcut that I took on lap 1. He took it on lap 2. So I'm going to take the shortcut that he took on lap 1, and I'm going to do it on lap 2. Here we go. It's right over here. It's a very big shortcut. It's a huge shortcut. And if we're lucky, it might even combo into another shortcut. It's right over here. We go through here, then we take a glider, and we fly over. Unfortunately, it did not combo to that shortcut on the left. We had another mushroom on this lap, which we have another one, but we're saving that for lap 3. So then we'll take that little shortcut over there on lap 3, off to the left. Ah, no! I got stuck in the cheese. In the off-road? Off-cheese? I don't know. I don't know what to call it. Got a big lead, which is nice to see. Oh! We no longer have a big lead. We no longer have a big lead. This is not nice to see. This is awful. Alright, we're going to take the shortcut over here, zoom through these block of cheeses, into the glider ramp, and across the finish line. That was close, but we still managed to win. So now we're moving on to the next course in the Crossing Cup, which is Wild Woods. And we're racing against Villager, who is controlled by Nintendo Akira. We have 2 paths we can take at the beginning. The left path is a safer path, that's much wider, it has guardrails, and there's coins. While the right path we could have taken is a more risky path that has jump boosts, but it's a lot thinner, and there are no guardrails, and there's also no coins. Here we are in this little rushing water section. It's better to stay in the rushing water because the water pushes us downwards and gives us extra speed. And there are also coins flowing around that we can collect to help boost our speed. So it's a win-win. And there's a little shortcut here. I'm pretty sure that's the only shortcut on this track. It's not the most exciting shortcut, but at least there's still a shortcut to take. So here we go, 5 seconds ahead, heading into the final lap. Got a good advantage. We just got to keep this good pace going. I don't see him anywhere. This is good to see. He's very far away. And there we go, we win! So the final course in the Crossing Cup is simply stated Animal Crossing. And in case you couldn't figure it out, this is the course that this cup is based on. It's an Animal Crossing themed course, hence why the previous course we're racing against Villager, who's a character from the Animal Crossing series. And this cup we're racing against, or in this course I should say, not cup, in this course we're racing against Isabelle, controlled by Nintendo Marie. And Isabelle, just like Villager, is a reoccurring character in the Animal Crossing series. So a cool thing about this course is there can be 4 different seasons for it. It could appear in the winter season, it could appear in the spring season, I burnt out, that's very sad. It can also appear in the summer season, and it could appear in the fall season. The season I've definitely seen the most is the winter season. And I'm doing horrible this race, but we're just gonna go along with it. And I don't know if I remember seeing the winter season. I don't remember if I've seen spring, summer, or fall. Now I've seen spring, because we're obviously doing spring right now. But other than that, I don't remember any of the other ones. The only one I remember was winter, where it was like there's like a bunch of snowmen, and it was all slippery, and there were some oranges. I think there may be apples and oranges that are like on the ground that we could pick up and give us speed boosts. That's the only version of this track I remember. But maybe we did do it, and I just don't remember it. That's always possible. Hopefully we can catch up. I don't even know if it's possible since we did screw up a lot. But we do have a lot of bells. And as you can see on the bottom left corner, our currency, just like on the Zelda track, are not coins. We have bells instead, which were the currency, or I guess still is the currency in the Animal Crossing games. Yeah, we're not doing the best on this race. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to retry it. But maybe since we'll be retrying it, we'll get to see a new season. Maybe we'll get to see the summer season or the fall season instead. Or we might just get unlucky and get spring or winter again. So yeah, unfortunately we lost, but our awful start at the beginning, it kind of already predetermined that we were gonna lose. But we'll get to try this again, and who knows, maybe we'll get a different season. Let's see. Will it be the same season? Will it be boring, or will it be interesting? Ah, it's boring. It's the same season. So maybe in time trials, it can only be one season. Maybe it could only be spring. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. So let's go down so we can get a few more of these bells to get extra speed. Let's take the shortcut over here. Got stuck in that little patch of off-road, but it's okay because we still got a big lead. Missed the trick boost there. That's very unfortunate. And I got stuck in the sand there, which is also very unfortunate. Ah, no, why do I keep ending up stuck in the off-road? I don't understand. So now I'm 1.2 seconds behind. Not good at all. Gotta catch up. I gotta go faster. There I go, I'm at max bells now, so this should be the fastest I'm able to go. Yeah, we lost again. Alright, so let's give that another try. Third time's the charm, right? I think I've said that a lot during all these time trial episodes. But you know what? It might be true. Maybe it'll work this time. I'm pretty sure every time I said third time's the charm, it didn't work. But who knows? Maybe this time will be different. And you know what? Let's go for a different shortcut. Let's do this one instead. Maybe that's a better shortcut. I don't know. But we'll find out together. You know, that shortcut seems to be giving me good luck. We're 3 seconds ahead of the Nintendo Ghost. So let's just do it again. Heading into the final lap with a pretty big lead. This is very nice to see. Yeah, we're 3.4 seconds ahead. And once again, we're just going to take this shortcut here. It seems to be working, so why change? Alright, let's just hope that Isabelle doesn't catch up by taking the shortcut. It's a possibility, but it seems like that will not be... Oh, wait. That will not be the case. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't speak too soon, because that would have been awful. So now we're going to be moving into the final time trial cup that's available for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, not including the DLC, because we still have to go through the Booster Course Pass DLC, and we still have to go through all this in 200cc. So there's still a lot left to do. But It's the Bell Cup, and we're starting off with 3DS Neo Bowser City. And we're racing against Dry Bowser, who is being controlled by Nintendo Ryu, or Ri? I don't know how to pronounce that name. I'm sorry. So the thing about this course is it's a very difficult course. It's got a lot of twisty turns, but also you may notice it's raining. And since it's raining, we have lower traction. But we only have lower traction in the sections where it's raining, like these outdoor sections. So we'll be more slippery and slidey, which is, it's supposed to be realistic, and honestly, it kind of is. And not only that, when we're driving in these rainy sections, you'll notice we have raindrops stuck to like our viewing section of the screen, which is, you know, a really cool attention to detail. Here we go, we'll take this shortcut right through there. Not the biggest shortcut, but it's a shortcut. So we're 7 seconds ahead of the Ghost. Holy cow, how did that happen? Well, you know what, I'll take this. After struggling a little bit on the Animal Crossing stage, an easy victory will gladly be appreciated. Alright, let's take the shortcut here again, because that really is the only shortcut on this track. And then we could also go over here, where there is a mushroomless shortcut that we could take. And now we're 10 seconds ahead of the Ghost. Holy cow, look at how far ahead we are! This is insane, we're like half the track ahead! Gotta be careful, but even if we fall off, I think we're still guaranteed to win, because look at how far ahead we are. I don't think Dry Bowser has any hopes of catching up. And there we go! We win! How far ahead were we? I need to know. 13 seconds ahead! Holy cow, that is insane. I don't think I've ever seen a time we were that far ahead. I think the farthest ahead I've seen was like 9 seconds, not 13. That's incredible. But anyways, we're moving on to the next course, which is GBA Ribbon Road. It's a pretty difficult course, but it's a very fun one. And we're going against Nintendo Guilia? Once again, a name I don't know how to pronounce, I'm sorry, but it's a female villager. We got a little bit of work to do, but this is a pretty long course. It's also got a lot of cool shortcuts, so we will have a lot of time to catch up. The first shortcut is right over here. Maybe not as cool as the ones later, but we can use a mushroom, cut through there, save us a little bit of time. And then when we're on this little ribbon section with the anti-gravity, there are some mushroomless shortcuts we could take. One being over here where we cut off a little bit of time, and there's another one over here where we cut off another turn, but we also get to go into this cool glider ramp. Ooh, fancy. There's also a shortcut over there we could take through the little arches. But unfortunately, since I already took a shortcut earlier, I'm not going to be able to take it this lap. But I will take it next lap. So we're 1.4 seconds ahead of the Nintendo Ghost. That's good with me. We're winning. No! I fell off. That's just a skill issue. But as you can see, the Nintendo Ghost clearly didn't fall off. I fell off again. Yeah. You can point and laugh at me. But we get to take this cool shortcut though, and I'm not going to screw that up. But we're 5 seconds behind! Holy cow, we really screwed up on that second lap. I don't think we can win anymore. There's no coming back from this. We need like a miracle. A Christmas miracle. Yes, I know Christmas already passed, but still. A post-Christmas miracle. Actually, we're close. I don't think it's enough to win. But we got really close at the end there. We were like 2 seconds behind or something. We almost made the comeback. Yeah, we were like 2 seconds behind, 2.5. So that was close. Let's try that again. I think we'll be able to do it this time. Now we're on this section, which is probably the hardest part of the track. It's got all the not too difficult shortcuts, but they're definitely easy to screw up. There we go. First lap complete. We can take this shortcut here, which I think is definitely the better shortcut compared to the other one. We're 2.8 seconds ahead. Okay, I think that's enough room to screw up one shortcut, but not two of them. Or we could just go around as well. That's always a possibility. But I think it's cooler to take the shortcuts. Alright, there we go. We're doing well. Okay, there we go. I pulled off the shortcuts again. This is what we do time trials for. Time trials is the best way to practice all the shortcuts if you're bad at it. We're 5 seconds ahead. I think we have this in the bag now. Unless I screw up really badly, which I don't think I will. I think we win. Uh-oh. Excuse me, Mecha-Koopas. Excuse me, Mecha-Koopas. Thank you. And you know what? I'm gonna be a little bit lame. I'm just gonna go around the shortcuts. I think if I fall off both the shortcuts, I have a possibility to lose. Uh-oh. Yikes. I fell off just going the normal way. I'm just gonna go the normal way, so I think I'll be fine. Here we go, normal boring path. But we've got such a far ahead lead that I think it doesn't even matter. There we go. That's a first place. We won. So now we're moving on to the second to last track of all of the base Mario Kart 8 Deluxe courses, and then we're done all the time trials for 150cc for the base game. So essentially, once we finish these two courses, we're a quarter of the way through the time trials. I know, there's still a lot more to do. It's Super Bell Subway, that's the next one we're doing. And we're racing against Pink Shy Guy, Nintendo Juliet. Cool. There's a lot of people cheering us on in the subway. That's cool. But we gotta win. Alright, so there's lots of split paths we could take. For example, we could go up here, where there's a bunch of speed boosts and coins, or we could have just stayed on the regular path. But obviously, taking the cool path is better than the regular path. Nobody wants to take the boring old regular path. We want to take these unique special paths. And then here we've got a split. We could go on the regular path or this little jump over here. And then we come over here where there's a shortcut past this fountain. It's not the biggest shortcut, but it's a shortcut. And we're 6 seconds ahead of the Ghost. Wow, that's impressive. we'll just take the regular boring path. But then here, we've got this path we can take, which leads to a glider ramp. But you know what? That's cool. We can see all the graffiti in the subway station. But you know what? That's not cool. But I guess nobody's bothered to clean it up. Heading to the final lap, 9 seconds ahead of the staff ghost. This is incredible. I don't think we can lose now, like, at any point. I'll just stick to the ground on the regular boring path, where I have to avoid the subway trains. Yikes, 2 of them! Ooh, I have to weave between them. Ooh, that's scary. There's also a shortcut here we could take, instead of that fountain shortcut. I don't know which one's faster, but they're both cool. Oh, I missed the speed boost. Oh, that's sad. So now we'll just go around the regular way. And there we go, we won! We had a huge lead there at the end. How much faster did we beat the course compared to the staff ghost? 11 seconds, you know what? Not quite as high as on Neo Bowser City, but that's still a very high time. So now, we're moving on to the final base game 150cc time trial, which coincidentally is the second F-Zero track. As I mentioned back when we were doing Mute City, I said there was another one coming later up. This was the last one. Big Blue is the last F-Zero track, and would you look at that, we're racing against Mario, Nintendo Dylan. This is probably like the 5th Mario we've gone against, but you know what? Mario's cool, so we're going against Mario again. After all, it's Mario Kart. It's not Luigi Kart, or Bowser Kart, or Yoshi Kart. It's Mario Kart, so it makes sense that we'll go against him a lot. But this is the other F-Zero track, and just like Mute City, it has a huge gimmick of the need for speed. And there's also the same thing where we can get coins here from these power-up panels, and if we bump into the edges of the walls, we'll get a little electrical shock and lose speed. So we don't want that to happen, obviously. But it's also got these little panels that we can take. But also this course, just like Mount Wario, is a section-based track. So instead of doing 3 laps, we'll do 3 different sections of the course. Which means we can't just do the same 3 shortcuts on each lap. We have to find different areas to use our mushrooms. And I'm not the most, I don't know much about this course. I haven't really have much experience on it compared to all the other courses, as we only get to technically play this course 3 times, each like on 150cc, and then on mirror mode, then on 200cc, compared to the 9 we get to do on the regular tracks, where we do 3 laps each, and then on 150cc on mirror mode, and 200cc, so essentially we do that course 9 times. Here we only get to do these 3 times. So this is my 4th time doing this course, so I'm not nearly as experienced on it compared to the other tracks. So I don't really know where all the shortcuts are, but oh, I ran into the wall and I got an electrical shock. Very sad. Come on, so close. I could definitely win this. I still have a mushroom left over. Go, grab the speed boost. Go faster. There's a shortcut here at the end, I think. Yeah. It's a good thing I saved a mushroom. And there we go. We win. That was close. But fortunately, we managed to win the last time trial ghost. There we go. They're all done. For now, at least. We beat all the 150cc ones. So there we go. Now we have completed every single time trial, I believe, for 150cc for the base game. I am pretty sure we've done them all. I don't think that there's one that I'm missing. Maybe there is, but I'm pretty sure that's all of them. So there we go. So oh, wait. We've collected 2,400 coins. A new vehicle customization option has been unlocked. I was going to wrap up the episode, but we got a new vehicle customization. Isn't that cool? So now we can officially wrap it up for today's episode of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.